Good morning, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Nielsen. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Everybody's still full from all the stuffing and all the food that Mommy made. It was very yummy. Oh, back to work now. So today we are going to learn about shapes in the world around us. Could you see what I have up here on the screen? These are the shapes that we're going to talk about today. The first one is a square. A square has 4 straight lines that meet at a point. 1, 2, 3, 4. And each of those lines meet in a corner called a point. 4 lines, 4 points. Second shape is a rectangle. A rectangle has 2 short lines right here, 1, 2, and 2 longer lines. And they also meet at a point. I'm sure you know these shapes already. The third shape is a triangle. Triangle has 3 lines that also meet at a point. 2 of the lines here meet at the top point, and then they are connected on the bottom by this third line, and they meet at these points. These are slanted lines, and that's a straight line across. These are 3 lines with 3 points. And the fourth shape we're going to talk about today is the circle. Now, a circle doesn't have any straight lines. It's just a flat shape that goes round and round and round. And today we're going to talk about these 4 shapes and where we see them in our world. And we've been talking about where we live. So today we're going to take a look at the city and all the different shapes that we see in the city. Are you ready to find some shapes with me? Let's go. Remember, we're looking for these 4 shapes that we just saw: a square, rectangles, triangles, and circles. I am going to close the screen, and then we are going to begin with first a picture of some buildings in the city. Could you see those there? I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Okay, ready? So let's look again. This is pictures of buildings in a city. And you could see that the buildings themselves are in what shape? You know what we just learned? This is a long line, and then another long line, shorter on the top and shorter on the bottom. That's called a rectangle, correct. And then what about in the middle here? All of these little things here, I think those are windows probably, right? And those are straight lines that are the same size and meet at a point. Those are squares. And that's what we're going to see today in a book that we're going to read. The book is going to show us different shapes in the city. And I want you to follow along and listen to the book and see if you could find the 4 shapes that we talked about. Are you ready to begin? Here we go. This is the name of the book. The book is City Shapes. And this is by Diana Murray. Do you remember what Mrs. Nisa told you? Diana Murray is the person who does what for the book? She's called that's correct, the author. And it's illustrated by Brian Collier. Brian Collier is the person who draws the pictures. Very good. Well, let's just look at the little girl. What does she have for her eye? Look, she's looking through a lens, and that is what shape? What shape did we talk about? That is a circle shape. Very good. Let's see if we can find what she sees in the city. Okay, now if you look at this first page right here, you can see the tops of the buildings. And what shapes do you see? I see rectangles and what else? Some square shapes. Very good. Let's look and see if we find out more shapes. Okay, let's read along together. Are you ready to read with me? Okay, you look at the shapes in the pictures and follow along as I read it to you. A pigeon takes flight through the bright cityscape, exploring the scenery, shape after shape. The city is bursting with shapes of each kind. And if you look closely, who knows what you'll find? See a circle right there? What's that shape here? Coming to the point on top of there. Some triangles. I see rectangles and squares. Do you? Very good. A truck rumbling by to deliver the mail. A silvery cart with hot pretzels for sale. Look at that. I see some shapes of boxes. What shapes are those boxes? Look at the shapes in the pretzel. And stacks of brown packages hauled up the stairs. Well, people are very busy in the city, going to work, going home, to their houses. What is on the car there, the taxi cab? What's that shape we see right here? Do you see that shape? That's a circle. Very good. Some shapes in the city are on-the-go squares, like the squares on the windshields of maybe that's a bus or a truck. Here's another one on the train, maybe. You have a big rectangle for the window there. Very good. A skyscraper covered in shimmering glass, a long metal bench near a green patch of grass, and a table with glittery scarves and gold bangles. More shapes, you see. The seaport with all of its flowing white sails, and there in the market the pointy fish tails, and colorful flags on a banner that dangles. You see on this banner here, I have some triangle shapes, and here some flags are in rectangle shapes. So many shapes. These windows on this building are triangular. Rectangular. The tree over there, I believe there's a tree in the background. That's triangular. Let's see. Some shapes in the city are gleaming triangles. Do you see them? I do. Do you? The sunglasses worn by a cop on his beat, the wheels of the taxis that zip down the street, and a manhole that leads to the pipes underground. See, I believe that's the manhole over there. That's a circle shape. Everybody see that? So many different shapes, even on the street, the lines on the street. Do you see those lines on the street right there? The lines on the street, the white ones, those are rectangular shape. Very good. Let's follow along. Some shapes in the city are circles, so round. She's looking through. How about that? The balloons are they circle shape? That's correct, they are. So many shapes all around us every day. At sunset, the city is softly aglow as chit-chatting crowds hustle, bustle below. When off in the distance a melody hums, it's hard not to follow the sound of the drums. What shape are the drums, boys and girls? That's correct. Circle shape. Very good. The stage in the park where the instruments sing. Some shapes in the city are ovals that swing. The lights. Oval, remember we learned oval last week, I believe it was. An oval is like a round shape that's been squished in a little bit. So it's a longer round shape. Very good. So ovals are also in the city. And nearby, the kites seem to dance in the sky. Some shapes in the city are diamonds that fly. A kite is a diamond shape. Now, we didn't show you that one, but you know that one. It's a diamond shape. You may see that when you see somebody flying a kite. The sun fades away into hazy blue dark, and soon there is a twinkle, a glimmer, a spark. Scattered up high above buildings and cars, some shapes in the city are faraway stars. So if you're in the city at nighttime and you look up in the sky and it's nice and clear out, you'll see some star shapes too. You see star shapes outside of your house too, even if you don't live in the city. The pigeon flies back through the night cityscape as city lights sparkle shape after shape. But her heart starts to ache for the shape she loves best, the shape that is home. What shape do you think that is? What shape is she looking for? She's looking for the shape of her home, her warm circle nest. The pigeon was looking for her nest, see? And that circle, where the whirring and beeping of cars rushing by helps her fall fast asleep like a sweet lullaby. So even her home is in a shape, a circle shape. The end. And that was all the different shapes of this little girl I saw in the city through the eyes of a pigeon as she flew by. And what Nielsen's going to do is I'm going to send you some shapes for you to use. And this is a picture that shows you shapes in a city. And you have a house and buildings and even a car you can make from shapes, and trees you can make from shapes. And what I ask you to do is to make me a scene, kind of like the one I made over here. Let's see how I did. I took some shapes and I put them together to make a picture of the city. And I'd like for you to make a picture of the city or of your neighborhood, even if you'd like, with shapes that you see, okay, to make the buildings and the houses. And if you like, you could add some details to it, like the sun and the sky. And then please send us a picture of how shapes are seen where we live. And this is what I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you a picture like this of these shapes, some triangles and rectangles, and then another one like this with some little squares and some circles. And you could use these if you'd like, or mommy could even just cut out some shapes if you have some paper at home and use that. And then when you're done with your picture, I'd like for you also to fill out this little paper, just one of these I'm going to send for each of you, and to count how many rectangles you used in your picture, how many squares you used in your picture, how many triangles you used in your picture, and how many circles you used in your picture, to show that shapes are all around us. And I hope you have fun doing that. Have a good day, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.